my channel. I'm Shannon Margaret B, and I'm so happy to have you here. I love thrifted and backlist books, and I also love reading through authors' backlists. So as in the title, I'm going to read through Peter Swanson's backlist. I'm not going to get to his entire backlist because he has about 8 or 9 books out, and I have only read one of his books so far. So I have read Every Value Break. This was a fun, grippy couples getaway thriller. It was pretty psychological too, from what I remember. A couple like goes to an island and everything seems all good and dandy, except something starts happening between the couple, and it is very freaky and windy, and I remember being happily surprised by this one. I read this a couple years ago, so I can't believe that I have not read more Peter Swanson since, but I do have 4 of his books on my TBR. Hello. So in this vlog, I don't know if I'll get to all 4 of these because that is a lot of reading. I did start one of them already and I'm a bit of the way through. 8 Perfect Murders. This one sounds more like a straightforward mystery and less like a thriller, so that'll be interesting to see. 9 Lives. I love a full cast thriller, so I believe this follows like 9 different people, so I'm excited for this one. And the one I already started and I'm like halfway through already is Before She Knew Him. This one follows a quiet, quaint neighborhood where a couple moves in and befriends the couple near them. The wife that moves in very quickly becomes very skeptical of the husband and the other couple and thinks that he may have killed someone a long time ago. And the other one on my TBR is Her Every Fear. I think this is another one that's pretty highly rated by Peter Swanson. I am excited to see what Peter Swanson has in store for me this weekend. It should be a fun weekend. I'm going to do my tiering system. So I did this, I think, in my Wendy Walker's backlist video. Obviously, we'll start with Every Value Break at the top. We'll funnel down as we go and see how the leaderboard changes. I'm still working through the book nook, and then I really want to work on some more diamond art bookmarks. I really want to get started on a pretty big diamond art project, so I need to finish up this little one first so that I can move on to the big one, hopefully in a week or 2. That would be cool. It'll be a fun couple of days, and I'm excited to bring you along. Such a lovely date. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of the midday date because I got to have a lovely, relaxing reading and crafting morning, and then I did some cleaning, and then we went on a lovely hike, which ended up being way longer than we were planning on because we kept getting lost. These signs were very confusing on this hike, and then we hit a nice little brewery on the way home. So it was a really lovely date, and now I'm excited because we're home so early that we can just have a good dinner and maybe watch a movie, and I can get some reading done too. To give you a crafting update, I actually worked a couple hours this morning on my book nook, so I'm getting farther. This is Sunshine Town. I have to hang a light on the top, and there's truthfully just wires hanging every which way. So I have enlisted my husband to help me to try to figure out the electrical issues that I'm having because I just think it's too overwhelming. And then this will be the other wall, and then I spent some time making this little bookshelf, which I think is so cute. Tonight, I think if I am going to craft, I kind of just want to zone out and do one of these bookmarks because I am obsessed with how this one came out. This is just the perfect cute color going into summer bookmark. I do think these are actually the first bookmarks I made last year. I think I made predominantly most of them in my Sarah Pierce vlog and my Frederick Bachman vlog last year. But I do like, they're all like floral and pretty. These are more like geometric, I would say, but I love the vibrant color. On a reading update I finished before she knew him, I'm giving this a 4.75. I loved this book so much. I physically read probably about 75%, and then when I was doing some cleaning today and craft, I did listen to a bit of it. I loved this, and I'm worried that I picked like my favorite of his as a first read. So in my tier ranking, this is obviously going above Every Value Break, although I did really enjoy Every Value Break, but this is setting the bar high. So this one, in my first clip I was saying, like, there's two couples that live next to each other and they try to become friends. So the main person of note in the first couple is Henrietta. She has struggles with bipolar disorder, so sometimes she goes into some manic states, and that also impacts a lot of things throughout the book, of if people believe her or not. And then the other couple, the person of note, is Matthew, the husband, who Henrietta thinks has killed someone in the past years and years ago. Henrietta kind of goes down a spiral trying to figure out, did Matthew actually kill this boy years and years ago, and is he still killing people to this day? The only reason it's not a 5 is because I did pick this book up and I started it a couple days ago, and then I put it down, and I got through like 100 pages and then I put it down because I felt like it slowed a bit. But then last night I got through that slow part, and then it was just so good, and it was so worth every single page. Really enjoyed the main characters in each of our couples of Hen and Matthew. And I think my favorite part is that they start off and I truly was like, I don't like them. Like, okay, great, this is a book of all unlikable characters. This is so annoying, and I'm gonna read 300 pages of characters that I don't really enjoy. But by the end, I was like, why do I love them? I was like, wait, I really love Hen's perspective, and I love her character, and why do I like Matthew even though he's a suspected serial killer? This book also has a really fun sprinkling in of like questioning your morality. I really like Peter Swanson's writing. I think if there's things I didn't love in this book, yes, I mentioned the slower part, but it definitely objectifies women in a certain light in parts of this book, and that's a little tough to get through. Kind of gives you vibes of like, oh my god, like, is this gonna be like Stephen King where we're talking about women in really weird ways? But I think it's just such a prominent thing in thrillers, unfortunately. So I don't love it, but I understand why it had to be in this, and for me that's okay if I'm like, okay, I get why it had to be a part of this story to describe women in that way and talk so grotesquely about some things. Like, I understand. Everything in here, even if it was disturbing and crazy or creepy, like, it had a purpose in this story to help you feel something that you needed to feel to get through this book. I think it also kind of plays into, as I am married, we've been renting the same house for 4 years now, and we have had the conversation countless times of, oh, the neighbors are like around our age, should we go say hi? Should we be friends? And it's just like so funny because they have so many of those conversations in this book. It's something I'm sure every couple goes through of like, should we go through the effort of making friends or not? Fun fact, and the inspiration for me reading this book actually started with, her channel is Beth Morvant, Morvant, and she had posted a reel of talking about 6 fast-paced books you can read in one sitting. You should go follow her. She reads a lot of really great thrillers. I think next, and keeping in mind that we're kind of going on a little road trip tomorrow to New York, I'm either going to read 9 Lives or 8 Perfect Murders. I think I'm going to go in for this one next. I do have all of them on audio. I will let you know what I think when I get a bit of the way through. New York yesterday to see my family, and that made me so happy to see my family. I don't live super close to them, so I love when I get to go see them. But we had such a lovely, lovely time, and I did read a bit of 8 Perfect Murders in the car yesterday. So I am on chapter 16. Page 135, so I'm about halfway through 8 Perfect Murders. I have a very complicated relationship with this book right now. So this book is following Malcolm, and he owns the Old Devil's Bookshop. So he is like specialized in murder mysteries and selling like editions of those, and also just running a bookshop that sells predominantly murder mysteries. And long ago, he wrote a list of 8 perfect murders of 8 different novels that had, quote unquote, the perfect murder executed. And years later, an FBI agent reaches out to him and is like, someone is going around and we think they're copycatting the 8 perfect murders in your article. So he kind of jumps in to help them solve these murders. Very difficult to talk about this book without spoilers, because you get a lot of spoilers like very early. You get a lot of reveal very early, and I feel very complicated about that. Close to impossible to talk about this book without giving away something that happens within the first 100 pages. It's interesting because Before She Knew Him is a little similar to this book in terms of like our main protagonist. One of my big gripes, talk about 8 murder mystery books that are like actual real books, and they like bring up different like real books throughout, like ABC Murders and some Agatha Christie and stuff like that. However, they spoil like all of those books, and he'll like walk you through like, in this book they kill so-and-so because of this, and this is how the ultimate conclusion and how they got away with it and all the planning that went into it. And it just kind of stinks because for example, like The Secret History by Donna Tartt is spoiled in this book, and I understand Secret History came out in like the 1990s. I understand I should have read it by now, but it's still on my TBR and I want to read it. So I was like having to just like skim my eyes over those parts to hopefully not completely spoil myself. So that is one disclaimer. You can probably look up like which 8 mysteries this book goes over, but yeah, it completely spoils them. Obviously these are like very classic ones. I think there's 4 or 5 of them I had never even heard of. But I do enjoy that this one is like more of like a straightforward mystery. It's not really a psychological thriller. So I thought that that was fun, going from a very psychological thriller to a very mystery vibe, like on the hunt with the team. Just a reveal very, very early, and I don't like when there's a reveal and then the book is like everybody else learning what you already know. I don't like when books do that. I mean, I appreciate it that he's like switching it up and it's very different. Like Before She Knew Him was very shocking. Every value break was very, very fun and shocking. I'm still intrigued enough to figure out how we get from what we know to other people knowing what we know, if that makes any sense. And I feel like a lot has happened. It's definitely not slow moving at all. Sometimes with mysteries, I'm like, ugh, I feel like this is going a little slow. This is very fast. A lot is happening. And I think it's really engaging. I just wish this reveal was not so early, because it's making me doubt if I'm gonna end up ultimately liking this book or not. I did start a Diamond Art bookmark before we got on the road yesterday to New York, so I think I'm just gonna listen to it and get some bookmark done. Shocking book review. I'm giving 8 Perfect Murders 5 stars. This is the top of my tier listing right now. 5 out of 5. This book was a work of art, and I feel so bad, but I think that's why it's fun sometimes to have the updates, because it's fun to see like how someone's opinions can change 180 by the end of a book. I like take back everything I said about the reveal. I like the reveal in the beginning is literally just a breadcrumb for everything that's gonna come, and I think that was really cool. And I think almost being stuck in that feeling of like, ugh, I feel like I know everything, to being like, wait, I don't know anything. Like that was a really cool switch in the middle of the book to being like, I don't understand what's going on. Like a work of mystery art. Like it was a great mystery, and I think how Peter Swanson wove in so many mysteries in the beginning and then was able to like tie them all out as the book went on. Being able to like tie point A to point B over and over as you read makes you feel like you're getting so many payoffs as you keep going. And I don't know, I just had a huge change of heart, especially by the very last page. I was like, I love this. I actually finished this a couple days ago and I'm still thinking about it. I think it was very fun to see a very psychological thriller with Before She Knew Him. I read more of like murder mystery with this book. So it was kind of fun because I really do feel like I got to read like two genres. You can definitely still tell he wrote both. So this book like gave me very nostalgic reading feelings, and I thought it was funny because there's like this PS Insights at the end of my book. Also, the ones that I thrifted, I bought these both from the same sale, and like whoever read these really does not like to keep spines intact because this one's a mess. I'd say it did make for a very nice floppy reading experience. He wrote like a little excerpt about like, it's called Comforting Crimes in Stressful Times. And it's why reading murder mystery or watching crime on TV is such a comfort to people. And I thought it was interesting because he says, but most of all, I think that for many of us, crime is comforting because of the associations with childhood. Most lovers of mystery fiction were introduced to the genre as young readers. Whether it was through Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew or through Agatha Christie, there is a nostalgic element to getting thoroughly swept up in a good whodunit. And like that, I feel like captured the essence of this book. Like I literally have my Nancy Drew puzzle behind the door that I was doing on my channel last year. I like loved Nancy Drew, so I thought it was like even more full circle to hear him write about that. And he has his 5 favorite comforting crime reads at the end, and Shutter Island is one of them. I absolutely loved Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. So yeah, I just like thoroughly ended up connecting with this book and I really liked it, and I was surprised. I can't lie, I'm slightly thinking that if I do read all of Peter Swanson's Backlist, I'm very curious if he would end up being my favorite author of the year, because last year in my like top 10 reads video, I did like an honorable mention for my favorite author and my favorite author of the year, and it had been Sarah Pierce, and I don't stop talking about Sarah Pierce because I love her so much. Yeah, this was giving vibes that maybe Peter Swanson could be my favorite author of the year. I did show 2 other Peter Swansons that are on my TBR, Her Every Fear and 9 Lives. I think I'm actually going to save these because I kind of want to savor his books a little. We'll do a part 2 to reading Peter Swanson because I just had such a fun time. So I am going to save these, and I am going to, if I go to any book sales in the next couple of weeks, I also am going to try to see if I can pick up a few more of his books. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!